All right, great people. How y'all feeling? Hey, I see that everybody with the cameras off today. I see a lot of people in the building. One thing I asked, I just want if everybody can just change their name. I know people are working, so I know that a lot of people can't be on camera. But if you can make sure that your name, at least at minimum, is changed on the Zoom, right? So if you can get your name changed on the Zoom, I just want to make sure because a lot of times we have iPhones and good stuff like that. So we can get everybody's name changed, Zoom users. So anybody that's coming in the door, just make sure that your name is clearly expressed for us today. That's all we ask. We know people working, driving, all that good stuff, but we just want your name changed over. So that's it. I appreciate everybody who's here. 300 plus people here. It's 9:09 here on the East Coast. Super excited to have you guys in the house today. As you guys can see, already some things that we discussed last night already played out here this morning. So I know that there's a lot of people that are like, man, I know like the messages that I got about AMD, et cetera. I know there's people that are like, hey, AMD went up significantly to the upside. Is it too late, right? The too late, the too late, the too late, the too late, the too late. So I just definitely want to make sure that everyone, we're on the same page here. Let me just make sure I'm on till this evening, and so this is one of those things where I don't want people to get caught up in the emotions, right? And so what I mean by that is it's tough, right? Let's say you weren't in AMD and already, I know for most people were probably not in any AMD options, but there's a lot of people here that are either in AMDL or in AMD shares just in general, right? So let's take that away here for a second. When you think about, AMD, a lot of times we may see, this is one of those out of your control type situations. No one would have thought, including myself, that AMD would be here today. Now, what I did state last night is that AMD would make this move over time. Sometimes things happen faster than what we can expect. Now, the main point that we did highlight was that the GPUs, right? There was a GPUs. When we had the GPUs, that was the main thing that I said to myself. And hold on one second. Let me make sure that everyone has the Zoom code. Was there any issues with anybody joining the Zoom? I see we got 323. Was there any issues with anybody joining the Zoom? Okay. Want to make sure. Let's get these logistical things because I want no one to miss out on anything I'm saying. Recording, by the way, and we do have AI notes. We are going to have a break around 11:30, 11:45. We are going to have a little lunchtime break for about 35 to 45 minutes. And then we'll come back probably, I would say, around 12:30, latest 12:45 to just kind of get ahead of scheduling wise. So if you do have to step out, it is okay. The Zoom will not be locked today, right? So the Zoom will not be locked today. We do have about 300 people that's on here. So that shows me that really there's no issues with the Zoom at all. So if you have some issues with the Zoom, reload, right? So I definitely want you guys to go ahead and reload and try again in a different browser, right? You also have to make sure that you can come in. Do not try to come in on just the audio if you're trying to be on visual. So work through those technical difficulties, guys, and make sure you guys can get on here by market open. So let's just continue to run through some things. Let's go through the mental prowess, right? Because I don't want to touch on AMD too much outside of what I've already covered. But we look at AMD and we say, man, AMD has ran so fast upward. That's a sign where I want people to take a step back and say, do not chase AMD. That's one thing that I do want you to do. Do not chase it. There'll be a pullback that probably comes in, get you a little bit. Obviously, probably not going to get 160, 170. But this is the recipe. If there was one thing that I could say take away from last night is execute now. Do not wait. And I'm not specifically even talking about AMD right now, but there was a lot of things that I covered and went over. And I'm gonna do another class when I come back from a little break, right? I'm gonna do another class that specifically highlights and goes over some more things in depth. This won't be the last time. Now I know we got a mixed crowd here. Now, majority of people that's on this Zoom right now, not all, But if you are a BWSO member that is in the house this morning, I want you to draw some fires for yourself here for showing up. If you are a BWSO, I want you to put some fires and put the word BWSO because it's 340 here right now, you know? And I just want to take a second to say, yo, there's a level of joy that's in my heart right now, for real. And I'm going to tell you why. 340 people being on a Zoom at one time, right? Collectively together, 340 people being on a Zoom, where once again, this is just me. It's just me, Oos. So we talking about 340 people. Shout out to my West Coast people in the building today. West Coast people get up every single day. Shout out to good brother Larone, Miss Antoinette. Shout out to all the people up there in Seattle, Arizona. I see a ton of people in here from the West Coast. Shout out to the people in the UK. We're going to give a special shout out to Fozzie, all my UK people over there that make sure they're always on every Zoom, waking up in the middle of the night for themselves at 1, 2 in the morning to catch the evening classes or getting up early and watching the recorders. We're going to give you your flowers. 350 people on this Zoom right now. This is a testament to consistency and discipline. None of this would be possible right now without each single one of you here that's on this Zoom right now. So I got to give you guys your flowers. A lot of people said, "L, what you doing so much giving away for your birthday? You supposed to receive." No, I've already received the gift of life. You see, because there was a point in time where I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like those are some of the thoughts that you had. Those some of the points that you get pushed to. And you're like, damn, I'm really going through it. But it was this community. It was people inside this community, not family. It was people inside this community that uplifted me. It was people inside this community that said, hey, L, you learn this, if you can do it once you begin. There was people inside this community that believed in me and said, yo, L, I'm rocking with you the long way. There was people inside this community that presented me with opportunities. There was people inside this community that said, yo, L, you different. You got a gift. There was people inside this community that showed up to any and every single class that I had and say, yo, I'm executing. It was people inside this community that sent me text messages and phone calls, say, yo, L, let's go. Let's rile up, stay focused. It was queens inside this community that were mother figures, that were auntie figures, that came and gave me a phone call and said, yo, L, get yourself up. Keep grinding, keep pushing. So as I get ready to head into October 12th, I said, I cannot leave without giving these people my best. Everything that I had, my best. And we started yesterday, and we're going to give you my best today. The best I got. And so 352 people being on here right now, and I know we got more people that are stepping the building. We probably going to hit 400. Continue to share this out because this Zoom is for everyone. This is a give back, right? Because without you guys, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in here today right now, speaking to you guys. You guys believed in me when no one else did. Believed in me. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I gave you guys a little bit on Saturday of just my background and just saying, you know, how far that I've came. And so I just want to say thank you, right? Two words for me, right? Thank you, right? Thank you. And so I appreciate y'all so much. And it's just the start. And I want to give a special few shout outs to good brother Remar for having my back last week in Cleve. There were some things that took place, but it was phone calls that I got from those two individuals that was able to help me see what was happening. That's accountability, but that's also brotherhood. That's your brother having your back. So when I always say this bigger than a transaction, that's what I mean by that. These two brothers paid to be a part of this community, but they came in and treated me like true brothers. You know what I'm saying? You see something happening behind your brother's back, you give your brother a phone call. And that's exactly, you don't post nothing. You just give your brother a phone call and you keep him on alert. That's real love. You get what I'm saying? So I want to say thank you to that because there's a lot of things I don't catch. As everybody knows, I'm busy, meetings, on these Zooms, on the charts, this and that. But that's community. That's community right there. Brothers picked up the phone. Yo, Els, seen this. Boom. Wouldn't have known. And not everything needs to be addressed. So it's because of the wisdom that I have. Now, a lot of people have seen stuff taking place. We just about business, guys. So it's 9:18. This market's about to crack open, and we got to get to business. So let's run this like we do. It's 362 people here on now. Let's go ahead and get our pre-market analysis. You know these analysts been talking. So let's go ahead and crack this top right open. So last night we had a really great class. So first thing that I want to kind of reiterate from last night, and I want to double down on this. Now, I need everyone, when I stress everyone, I need you guys to repeat after me. NVOX. I need everyone to get NVOX, guys. Your best price. I want you to set some price alerts on NVOX for $2.50. That's going to be your best price, right? So write that down. $2.50. I want you guys to make sure that you have NVOX written down for yourself and setting yourself up here for success. So I need everyone to get this bad boy, NVOX. So you can start scaling, right? Where NVOX right now is at about $4.15. Once again, your worst case scenario best case scenario is going to be $2.50. So if you get it at 350, 375, and it goes to $2.50, that's your boatload number. When we give best prices, we are very, very good at calculating best prices. Now, shout out to just show you how these long ETFs really work. Well, you see this here with AMDL. AMDL is up almost 100% overnight. Now, AMDL, now you guys can tell me this, right? 99 comments in the chat. Now, how many, listen to this real quick. How many people was bullish on AMD as much as I was? So AMD, we're going to talk that talk, guys. When AMDL was at $4, $3, who was telling you to buy it? Who was telling you to drop that big bag? Who was telling you to make sure you get inside AMD itself, individual AMDL? So this is an example of something that went from $4 all the way to 18 with the right movement and the right business development. So I want you guys to understand that we're not new to this. We're true to this when it comes to catching these levered plays with these individual stocks. So I need everyone to know that when it comes to NVOX, just so there's no questions, $2.50 is going to be your best price. Now, could you get that? You very well may if we see another pullback in healthcare. And NVO specifically comes down maybe to about $40 a share again. Now, if that happens, that's your best case. I think it's really great to buy now. I would say don't wait. If it pulls back, then buy more. This is execution now. I don't want to hear when it goes to 8 or 12, are we buying? Because the answer is we are going to be looking to be selling around in between $8 to $12 and even up to $14 and $16. So that's my thoughts on that, NVOX. So I know the pump boys are active. So let's give you guys, when I talk about the pump boys, we see all across the desk. Let me get X over here. If you're new here, which I know we got some new people, let's make sure that we keep you abreast to actually what's happening here with X, right? On X. Why is X so important for you guys to actually go ahead and have? So boom, you just go ahead and log in and boom. So when I log in my X account, listen, there's things, and you see what's the first thing when I log into my X account, guys? You see my algorithm on my X account, make sure I don't see no foolishness. First thing I log in, I'm seeing what? My 3 favorite things, because my X account knows what I'm looking for. I don't want to see no nonsense, no drama, no Cardi B, no Nicki Minaj, no gossip, none of that stuff. I want to get to the root. What stocks are getting them price targets increase? Unusual whales is going to show me what's happening here. And then we also have First Squawk. These are your 3 main resources that you need. Of course, you can have a Yahoo Finance pinned here, but this is what you need. This is the news you need to be paying attention to. This is the account that you need to be hitting the bell on, which majority of people, I'm sure, have hit the bell on here. So I like to come in here during the morning to stay abreast, as well as my economic calendar, to know exactly what is going on. When I woke up this morning, what happened? It was literally AMD's alert that I actually ended up getting. And I seen when AMD's alert actually came out, when that number for AMD came in right here a little over 2 hours ago. I said, OpenAI signs AMD chips deal worth tens of billions of dollars. So boom, I already knew instantaneously. I was like, dude, this was on like me 30 to 40 minutes after me waking up, doing my morning routine. I'm like, boom. And listen, I was supposed to go to the gym this morning, but I couldn't. AMD, I'm gonna go to the gym a little later, but AMD had me turned. When I got up, I popped up and said, bam. I said, no, AMD did it. So you know it was a good morning. If L missed the gym this morning, he's gonna go tonight, but you know it was a good morning if L missed the gym. That's just reality. So OpenAI signs AMD chips deal worth tens of billions of dollars. So this was one of the things. Now, I didn't expect that OpenAI, but I won't say that I'm surprised. But AMD has had, a plethora of opportunities to be able to take itself to the upside. And today they did so, right? This deal was major. Now, what I don't want to be overshadowed is I don't want people to forget about what's actually next here and what are some stocks that, as well, because we discussed these stocks in unison, there's questions as far as how will this deal shape out? Does it hurt NVIDIA? I know you may have instantly seen NVIDIA come down, but there's also now, shout out to MU, but MU's up $8 this morning. So remember when I talked about the fundamentals between AMD and MU. Now, I want to kind of just tally this and rally this thing home before the market opens. I want to just put some things into perspective. Because of how fast AMD has made this jump, some people are going to ask, well, Lawrence, what are your thoughts? Do you still consider that AMD is the lesser of the buys? Now, we have to understand because AMD went up 37% overnight, all the pressure's on them now. Let me break and explain this down. So because AMD went up $60 so fast and everyone's like AMD, 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 and we get it, but the pressure's on them now because now the Brinks truck backed in, came in, and they dropped a big boy bag. This wasn't nothing small. This was a big boy bag that got dropped on AM Dizzle. So when you think about this, I want to look at two different things, right? I want you to go to MU. Now, the current P to E is 99 for the trailing 12 months. AMD just got more expensive from a price perspective and a business perspective. Now, this is this is not even an earnings. This is more than an earnings report type move. This is a company changing move in AMD. So what you also need to make sure that you understand is that all the pressure is on AMD now. You know who the pressure is not on? Now, Micron's up 4%, but Micron has a 24 P to E. You still find a company here in Micron, which once again, my hands raised because I screamed Micron, right? I told people that Micron, it would be hard to argue that AMD would be the better buy. So if someone asked me today, L, which ticker should I put my money in, AMD or Micron? My answer to you is MU. If you had to choose, even after today's run, you get a better bang for your buck buying Micron Technologies because all the pressure is now on AMD. They did what we wanted them to do in a 12 to 18 month period. They did it damn near overnight. But Micron still has the strong capabilities of going at 300. Now, I want to explain this. Doesn't mean that AMD isn't going to go to 265. That's still the target. But I want you guys to understand, where's the better buy for your money? We buy businesses, not prices. I want you to put that in the chat. I told you guys I was giving you all I had today. Buy businesses, not prices. So many people come on to you guys to sell you stocks at certain prices. That's where a lot of times people make the biggest mistakes is a lot of people focus on buying the prices, not the businesses. I need you guys to focus on buying the businesses, not the prices. I cannot stress that enough. Focus on buying businesses, not prices. Because I don't want to go back too much, but what's happened in the past when you've bought off of prices, a cute price, an attractive price? When you buy stocks off prices, a lot of times it don't work well. We're focused on buying what's the quality business. So when you look at AMD, listen, this isn't a question of AMD has the better business, we'll say, but from a price and value perspective, Micron, your money's maybe a bit more safer because now all the pressure is on AM Dizzle to perform. There's no way that AMD can go into this next earnings report with the deal they just had and missed. Oh boy, they'd be in for a rude awakening. So now AMD, anytime they report earnings, next 2 to 3 quarters. Expectations have now just been lifted. So you've put the pressure on yourself. It's just like this, and we'll explain it as this regard. You give Brock Purdy a max, and shout out to the 49ers fans that are in here. You know what I'm talking about, right? You give Brock Purdy his max contract. He was the 7th round pick, the undervalued player. So Brock Purdy played a great game, while he was the undervalued player. But now Brock Purdy has that big boy contract. And 49ers fans, we got a lot of them in here. You guys know exactly what I'm going to say. You guys have the expectation that Brock Purdy has to deliver. Otherwise, you're going to be saying Mac Jones can stay his tail and behind in if Brock Purdy can't stay healthy and can't be an accurate quarterback. So that's the same situation with AMD. Listen, they just got their big boy contract. We was talking about 200. They just got $275 million worth of contract, right? So look at that. A big boy contract just came in. You talk about open AI. So there's no room for misses. They don't have no room for misses. So that's what we have to say about AMD. But Micron is up here to $7.20, right? This morning. So up here, $7.20 here this morning. Now I want to go into, now that we're about to open up here in the next couple of seconds, we'll have more conversations once the market actually opens up, as far as some of the, maybe a little bit of the things yesterday. Now I want you guys to go to look here at Meta Platforms. Meta Platforms, everyone pull up Meta, ticker META. We're going to have a time for questions. We want to get into our market analysis, getting everyone prepared, market to get ready to open. For those that are newer here, we don't usually like to trade the first 15 minutes. That's just what we don't do. We just never have, never will. Market just opened up. So we had a QQQ here at about 608. Robinhood just hit a 52-week high. The reason why I wanted you to pull up Meta is we have Meta that actually just broke underneath $700 a share. So META, we actually just broke underneath this $100 a share mark, or $700 a share mark. Let's see and also watch the QQQ. You have ticker T, which is shot here to the upside about $10. Oracle, AMD, of course, we know what's happening there. Ticker SMCI. I was asked a question on SMCI yesterday. We just hit that point. Now AMD is up here to 221. And then you have Palantir, which shot back up here to 180. These volatile tickers, just going through some of these tickers. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone that's just coming in. So I'm going to put up here in a second on the board. I'm going to drop exactly what we should be looking at. So we had a QQQ, which is at about 608. We have Meta Platforms, which is at 699. So Meta, we're expecting a drop to about 691. Below that, we believe Meta can drop all the way to 674. So we just hit a brand new high on the NASDAQ due to AMD this morning. So it's the first five. Let's see what the first 5 minutes bring us. I really want to look at some AMD puts, actually, guys. So some people might be saying, well, why? After this big move, I mean, we got to be realistic. We think AMD going to stay up all day. It's from the standpoint of we ain't expecting, definitely this thing ain't turning negative. But we want to try to get AMD being a stock we know, ain't going to be staying up that whole $36 all day. We'll see, though. But let's try to watch an entry. It's falling about $2 from the open, but we don't like to trade the open because it's still early. I would like to go see a retest of at least 225. That's what I'm going to look for. A retest of 225 on AMD. All right, because we actually hit, and this is why your levels always should stay on your chart. You notice we hit that 227 this morning. This was a level that was already previously here on my chart before, right? So now we're going to look, and if we can actually break down here, this 607 on the Qs, we're down $10 from the peak of pre-market, 217. We have levels. This is why you got to stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Now, someone will say, what do I mean by that? These are old levels on AMD, all right? So let's break this down. These are old previous levels from back here on AMD. So what I look here is the profit taking is already happening, and that's okay. For my members that are here, they understand why we don't trade the opening bell. Some people say, L, since you started saying you wanted to short it, it's down $4. That's fine. I don't want to chase things that open because things are so volatile that yes, this thing it's probably going to drill this 214. But just from me having history trading, I never like to really trade that opening bell. I always like to give it a little bit of time before hopping into anything. So that is one thing that I would stress. Tesla is up here to 446. So Tesla has a rejection level up there, top side at 450 and 452. SPY is up about $1, so we're at 671. Nvidia is now down here to 184. Apple is still poking, trying to break that bull flag. So you see AMD. This is why you kind of want to let things settle down. Let's take a look at some other tickers here this morning. Let's talk about Apple. Ticker Apple. Everyone go ahead and pull up Apple. We have a 4-hour bull flag. 391 people. We're going to hit 400. So when you look here at this bull flag pattern, this is one of our highest probability setups. Shout out to the good brother RJ Trades. We always like to we call him the bull flag king around here. That guy spot a bull flag, you just take the trade. If RJ says there's a bull flag, you just hop in the trade. Simple as that. But here you're looking at this top 260 break, right? 260 break. If we can actually get a move above 260, bull flag, that'll be a new all-time high for Apple. So the volume, as you can see, the past 10 sessions has actually been pretty weak as far as we just been consolidating and haven't really been able to strongly break up. So when you look at this break over here on Apple breaking there to the upside, can lead to new highs there. Let's see. 292. Let's see, 935. So we're about 5 minutes. See what would have happened. AMD's at 218. Imagine someone went short at 216, expecting that 214 break. That's why I always tell people to be patient at open. See, CrowdStrike just broke over 500. You got crypto stocks up, but I actually see some weakness in a ticker that actually I just had an alert for 218. So here's what we're going to look for. We got a bear flag break on Amazon. So if you guys remember, what was the 3 tickers that I was bearish on that are in the NASDAQ? We're going to see who was paying attention last night. What's the 3 tickers that I was bearish on? What's the 3 tickers that I was bearish on? Amazon's one. What's the other 2 bad boys? What's the other 2? We just talked about one, Meta, thank you. And what's the other one? Netflix. Amazon, Meta, and Netflix, correct. So those were the 3 in the NASDAQ that I was looking at to the downside. Yep, Amazon, Meta, and Netflix. Ticker ASML just got an alert. 52-week high, 1051. Another one, right? ASML, make sure you set those alerts. So we like Amazon as well, setting up here. Ticker Tessie is at 442. So Apple sold off a little bit. Let's see. So we got Amazon, AMD back to 219. Where's Meta? Meta's at 694. That 691 break. It's going to break down that 691 break. Want to see a breakdown below those levels. Circle Internet Group is at 147. CoreWeave, they are at 138. Ticker CoreWeave. Looks like AVGO just shot positive for today. It's back positive. Oracle, ticker Oracle, 294. SMCI is at the take profit zone at $55. So $55 there. So we like the bearish side on this ticker. We have also Palantir, which rejected at 180. So another 7 minutes until we're going to move. Another 7 minutes. UNH, we'll get you guys that covered in healthcare. We still have UNH till next year. UNH 361. Let me get you that. UNH, we're long. Some people are long January. Some people are long up to March. Some people are long a little longer. All right. So 366 is the level that UNH needs to get over to continue to run. The more it smacks 366, the easier it is going to be to pull back down. So we like UNH as it breaks to the upside. So that's my thoughts there. Yeah. So we're going to give it a couple more moments, but I'm going to tell you guys now, the three tickers I'm targeting, Amazon, which I've already discussed. I want to short Amazon. I'm not shorting TSM or any, I'm not going to short them right now. I do want to watch AMD. AMD, I want to watch a short at 225. So please set an alert at 225. I will not be quick to short AMD. I'll tell you that. But 225 is where I want to look to get an entry on AM Dizzle. Now I'm gonna put the strikes and the expiration dates up there just so everyone knows, because I know we got some new people, 400 people. Me here, I like to trade in the money options only. So let me go ahead and give you these notes real quick. In the money options only. Let me go ahead and stress this for you. And so let me do this whiteboard. Good morning, brother. Let me do this whiteboard. So just to stress this. So, and let me do this because I know. Make sure you guys follow over here just so people can see. You got to make sure you follow the whiteboard, right? So make sure you follow the whiteboard for me. Everyone come on a whiteboard. I think we got like 250 people. In order to see the whiteboard, you got to click the whiteboard. 1 second. There we go. For those, we do have that Zoom link. For those that are on the live, I'm about to cut the live. I'm about to cut the live here in a second. So go ahead and get on this Zoom. Click that link in the channel so you can get on this Zoom here. All right. So let me just break this down as to what our philosophy is when it comes to trading, right? So we like in the money options, right? We like to make sure we're in the money. And we like anywhere in between 2 to 9 month expiration. All right. So we like 2 to 9 months. So if I'm saying 2 to 9 months, we're at least at minimum a lot of times right now looking at December or January, December of this year or January of 2026 contracts. Now, this protects us because we like to have at least a 3-to-1 delta to theta ratio. We like that, right? Like that's a favorable delta to theta ratio. When we can have a 3-to-1 delta to theta ratio, it gives us a lot of opportunity to actually see and protect ourselves movement wise. So we don't want to get caught out there with get our heads cut off like chickens because we're too aggressive and we are not having enough time on our options. So what you'll see a lot of times in any trade that we have. So for example, this is just an example purposes. Let's say on Amazon, ticker AMZN, I would suggest for people to go out December or January. I would say get a 220 to a 230 put option. All right. Now, my target on Amazon is somewhere around 211. I think it's actually 210.99. I'm not in front of the chart, but you got to know your damn charts. And after that, you also have a target two. I want to say it's 2054. That's going to be target two. So you see how I go into a trade already with predetermined targets. I had a ticker. I have the expiration, which is here. This is your expo. Then you have the put, which is going to be your in the money, the strike price. So I'm buying. How you execute this order is you have to do what is called a BTO or a buy to open order. That's what it's going to be expressed to you. Your Charles Schwab, your TD Ameritrade, your Robinhood, all of these interactive brokers, all of these different platforms. This is what you're going to have, right? So when I look here, these are the main names that I actually go ahead and right? And as far as like when I'm actually looking to actually take a trade. So I have these names, I have these scripts actually written down. So now you have December or January Expo, 220 and 230 put, buy to open, target 210 to 207, and then you have a target too, right? So Amazon right here, this will be the example of, okay, now I know. Now let's say you want to have a stop. Now, everyone has a different risk tolerance realistically, right? Some people could say 15%, some people could say 30 to 35. You identify that. Some people may say more. Once again, everyone, you can't really tell people how they have their risk tolerance because everyone has different situations. This would just be our ideal, right? Percentage. Sorry about that. Just need to drink some water. But this would be an ideal percentage when you are taking a look at AMZN of saying, all right, cool. I'm looking to go ahead and have this, right? So this will be the main example for yourself there at this time. Oh my gosh. AMD just went off. Thank you, Devontae. Devontae. So we just got here 214 sold off there. Now, this is the example with Amazon. Now, if you guys are looking at, let's say, AMD, right? 400, let's get it. 200 to 230. You want to look to 200 to 230. Essentially, here's what you can go ahead and do. You would have, that would be your strike. Oops. You would do the same thing, December or January. You are going to have your targets. I don't have my chart in front of me right now, but let's say you have that and you're actually looking to see a movement. All right. So let's go ahead and have, let's say our target is, I want to say it's around like 208. I don't have this chart. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have the chart in front of me. Now, when I'm looking at 220 to 230, you have a ITM. We always buy in the money with time. We want at least a 3-to-1 minimum D/T, which is our delta to theta ratio. If that can give us, means we have a 60-cent delta, that's perfect for us. 60-cent delta. We can have a 60-cent delta that is perfecto for us. All right. 60 cent on the delta side is going to be perfect for us there. All right. So delta/theta, which are theta less than 20 cents, right? So 20 cents would be less than our delta to theta. So we have an in the money strike, we set a target, and then we also have a stop, right? This is just basic 101 trading terminology. Now, for when we are looking at this thing and we're paying attention, these are our strikes, right? So you want to make sure you understand your strike pricing and your exit, where you're paying attention execution wise. So ticker AMZN. What I want everyone to do right now, I want you to go to your brokerage account and I want you guys to go ahead and purchase some Amazon puts, right? So I want you guys to go ahead and purchase some Amazon puts. This is going to be your target. We primarily do a swing trade. Nope, we're not talking about AMD calls. These are AMD puts, just to be clear. AMD puts, correct. We're not looking and we're not taking any calls on AMD. Definitely not. Go ahead and take a look at Amazon on this side, right? So Amazon, what I want you to do is go to your brokerage account and go ahead and get Amazon. So trade here. Make sure you guys are listening. December 19th or January 2026. You go ahead and hit, you can hit the 225. You could probably get, or you can go January. Maybe you decide you want to go here and get some January contracts, and you could go and get a 220 option here for this name, ticker AMZN. So I want you to do that now. While you're looking here at this screen, go ahead and go to Amazon, get you a in the money put option. All right. I want you to go ahead and get yourself an in the money put option on AMZN. So AMZN, I want you to go and go to your option. I want you to hit the execute this order. I want you to go out to January. Once again, January, right? Or December. January gives you 102, right? So it's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now 220 or to 210. It's up to you what you decide. Obviously, the deeper you go, all right, the more that it is going to cost. All right. So you can go out to January and go ahead and get that Amazon put for yourself. So that would be the execution prowess of what it actually looks like. So for me, those are my targets. And I'm looking for Amazon to come down a bit lower. All right. I want to see AMZN actually draw down and get to that 211 level. 210.99, I believe, is the exact number to the tick. So January gives you 102 days until that contract expires. Now, there's going to be questions. How long do we hold the contract? This is why you're looking at your targets, for one, but also you want to keep in mind the setup that's in play. So everyone, make sure you guys save this information real quick before I take it off the screen. Screenshot this information and save it before I take it off the screen because I'm about to go back to the charts real quick. Someone said AMD about to pay for my hotel for that. Mills, man, I love Mills. Mills makes me laugh every time I see it. Mills, shout out to Mills. Everybody put Mills in the chat. If there's one person that's going to make me laugh, and a lot of times people say they don't see me smile enough, man, it's going to be Mills. I'm going to tell you that right now. Mills, everybody put Mills in the chat because I love his enthusiasm. That's my guy right there. Mills, Mills, Mills. All right, so you got that there, right? And you should have this AMD as well down. So AMD is going to be more volatile. It's here at 215. Let me go back to the charts. All right, let me stop this. Go ahead and stop. Everyone could follow me and should be able to see my screen in 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right, let's go back to the charts here. We got UNH, baby. 366. We're locked in on those February. Some people in February and March calls. Some people in January. We're locked in. So let's go here to AMD. So the level is actually 210.08, but I believe there's a pre-market level at 208. I want to say that I saw 208.06 with my own eyes this morning. 1 second. It's right here. Yep, I'm telling you, got to be on these charts. Got to be on these charts. That's what the level was. So I'll go ahead and set it right here. So AMD, I want everyone to go to their brokerage account right now and grab some AMD puts as well. So AMD, I want you to grab those puts for December, get you a 220 in the money strike. So 220 in the money strike for AMD. I want you to go and grab that. Go ahead and get yourself that and get yourself set up. So AMD, December, that'll be good enough. The calls are up, obviously, outrageous. But you do have, the 210 put for December is down significantly today. Absolutely significantly. So you do have that here. So do look to go do that. When you do see that, let's see this 210. So that should roughly be around, depending on where you're at, but that should roughly be around like $1,900 for that contract, right? On AMD. AMD, that should roughly be around there, $1,900 a share. Not a share, a contract. Now that contract is down 50% today alone. Of course, that was a deep in the money put. So that you have about 74 days until expiration. So 220 contracts are down. And what I like to do is, boom, we're at 211. So you see this target here over at 208. I would like to see AMD drill this target here at 208. So I am in the trade on AMD. I'm in trade on AMD and as well Amazon. So Amazon and AMD, excuse me, a little bit more. I actually just got filled at the 220 for 25. Apologies on that. I was looking at a different contract. So here we go. I'm in both. For those that are in my community, you're seeing that express right here. I let people know right here. I'm in both. At everyone, in both. I'm going to let you guys know the targets. Once again, 208.03 for AMD. And target on Amazon, pretty much 211. You should always set your alerts, obviously, before then. Like when you want to set your alerts, you do want to set your alerts before they get to those levels. So like if I have an alert for 211, well, it sent me a target for 211 for AMZ, and I should go ahead and have an alert there to let me know when as the stock price drills down, so I know what level that stock is actually hitting, right? So as it gets close to it, it's not a question or a guess or a wonder. I actually know where that level is hitting, right? So we're here at 212. Anytime we take a trade, we always like to keep our indice up. So if you notice, the QQQ is selling off here since open. So if I'm bearish on the QQQ, I can't be bullish on individual equities, right? So let me go here to ETF.com. We talked about ETF.com last night. Shout out to the ARK ETF, but I don't want ARK ETF right now. I want to get to the QQQ. Thank you. So for my new people and experienced people, it's good to know the more that you study. Someone asked me a good question, the reps. This is what the reps look like. You may not know where all of the assets are actually sitting at, and that's fine. But it's your job to actually get to know where they're at, right? So that's what I would stress here at this time is making sure that you set yourself up the right way for success by paying attention to this key and prevalent data. So when I do look here at this point in time on this name, I would like to see us, if we can break specifically, we have NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Broadcom, Tesla. So out as well, we also have AMD, which Palantir passed them a little bit, but AMD is right here at 1.46%. So AMD is already at 210 since we entered. But 606, let's watch the QQQ in unison, in real time. No games, no fluff. Let's see QQQ in unison, and let's see what AMD does. It's drilling down. Can we get another $2 relatively quickly? Now, some people is going to say, LE, man, we should have went short at 218, 219. Listen, you could have, but we want to be on the safe side. You know what I mean? We had a solid entry. What did we say? As we were breaking below 214, we were going to expect that the market was going to drill down. So it was real easy. I won't say easy because I don't want to confuse people, but it made it easier for me to take, right, the trade below the 214. So we got in right around 213. The stock is drilling down. We have a target right here, a pre-market target, right? We want to watch this pre-market. So as the Qs are moving, we are going to see this thing move. So we want to pay attention and see, okay, well, now can I get a drill down at this pre-market at 8 o'clock? That's why I said I seen it with my own eyes at 208 at 8 o'clock, because I remember vividly getting ready to get in my car and checking AMD, and boom, here it was. So if we can break and take out these buyers at this level, then we leave room to come down to 209. Or excuse me, to 202. We're at 209. So look at the volume and the volatility. Watch as the QQQ. Now we're going to get surgical with this thing. A lot of people ask, Ellie, you don't really day trade. Doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just shows, I'm just showing you right now that I can do it. I've been a day trader in a past life. I know what I'm doing on these charts. Question is I need you to pay attention to this price action because I'm about to teach you something. So watch this at this level now. You see where these buyers, what do these candles show you with these wicks? This show you where price came down but wasn't able to close. So now when you actually look here, buyers are stepping in. So this 606 is very critical. The same thing as well as this 208. So we're going to time this up perfectly. If the Qs don't break below 606.33, AMD can't get below this 208. So this is where our target lies and sits. So now we're watching this. We're watching these candles. We're on a 5-minute time frame. If we want to go lower, cool, we can go lower. We can get busy. Let's go to the 1 minute, which I don't spend much time on. But now let's take a look here. The 1 minute time frame is showing me there's selling pressure, right? Where the wicks keep coming down, but buyers kept stepping in. We're at 208 here right now. Let's watch this thing. Oh, yeah, it's about to hit that target, baby. Let's go. That's good money. That's good money. It's about to take that target. Oh, yeah, that was easy. That was easy. What was in this trade? Less than 10? Come on. Get out the trade. Get out the trade. Take your money. Easiest trade you're going to have. And I laid it right there for you. Okay, nobody said, tell these guys to get on these Zooms and start trading and stop talking on these shows because they can't mess with me. They don't want me to start. I'm telling you, get out the trade. Tell these guys to stop talking. Let's get busy. Open up your charts. Crack this thing open. And let's call levels and let's get busy. Right here, 400 people in the flesh, 207. 207, that's good money. That's good money. Now you're gonna tell your boss, I ain't coming back. I ain't coming back for the day. I'm gonna take that PTO. Yeah, we're gonna talk that talk. It's 207. And we said 208. Stay in that trade. Oh, it's coming down. Let it be on your sell screen. Be on your sell screen in real time. 206. That's good money. 205. Take your profits. You got $2 extra with me. Get out the trade. Order filled, sold like that. Oh, it's like that. That's $1,700. What was that? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 5 contracts, 10 minutes. Now you done for the day. And you still got Amazon, which you're going to cook and do its thing. Get out the trade. Out. Bingo. That's good money. And the cues didn't even break down all the way yet. Good money. Good money. What we talking about? What we talking about? What we talking about, man? This is real education. That's real education. That's education. That's real education. That's real life education in real time. Boom. Crack them open. Snap their head open. Like that. I'm telling you. Woo. Now that was easy. I will say that was easy. Now we set our alerts and look at that. You see, if we ain't take our money, look at that. It's right here to 208. So now let me make sure I send, make sure I send that alert because some people may have got off, but sell, I did say sell, sell, sell here, right? Sell, target hit. But this is the importance of having your targets and paying attention. So this 607 not breaking. So, excuse me, 606.33 not breaking. This is why the AMD is coming. See how it briefly wicked? Let me show you. Let me go to the 5 minute. You see how it briefly wicked below this 5 minute candle? See that wick? Let me go to that 1 minute. Let me show you a little better. That 1 minute that happened, that was that extra. And that's why I said, oh, if you got extra, always take it. So you think I hesitated when I'm saying, no, thank you. You gave me $2 extra. Because now if I didn't, guess what happened here? Greed. Also paying attention to your levels on the cues. You see how the cues bouncing. Cues is bouncing. Bouncing, 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 bouncing. Right there. The QQQ is right back up. It was right back up here. You see how it's bouncing? And AMD pushing. Right that fast. You get what I'm saying? So we had that move here. This is what you call real-time education. No games, no fluff. Everybody knew, boom, got out that position, boom. What was the timestamp on that? What was the timing on that? Let's get to it because that was, I believe I entered that trade at 9:51. That wasn't even 10 minutes. 9:51. Right here was out of this trade by 9:58. That was a 7-minute trade, $1,700. 7-minute trade. Now, did I expect it to take 7 minutes? No. Some people say, why you bought so much time? Because I actually thought it was going to take longer. But it happened. And then we took our money, no hesitation, got out the way. Questions, questions, questions. Questions, questions, questions. This your time to get questions in. We locked in on Amazon. We're going to let that sit there for now. All right. Questions, questions, questions. Any questions? The SPY just got below 670. Doesn't mean that the cues won't break, but just showing you how price action really determines. So the long wick meant buyers push. Correct. So let me explain that again, because we're really making a bear flag. You see this bear flag. Now I'm on a 1 minute time frame. Let me just show you. Oh, see me. That's the 15-minute time frame. You see this bear flag? This is a 5-minute bear flag. I told you I was going to get surgical with you. So look at this. This is a 5-minute bear flag. A bear flag is a what type pattern? It's a bearish pattern. So you got a 5-minute bear flag here on the QQQ. So as we breaking below this 606, right? So if we can get below this bear flag, now that leads the cues to come all the way downward to our pre-market low potentially. So our pre-market low is all the way back there at 604. So I use these trend lines to draw these levels. Now, a bear flag we know is a consolidation pattern. Now, if you look at AMD, we had that short pop and that caught and trapped those buyers up there, but sellers regained and took control. The next level for AMD, if we stay below this 208, it's going to come down probably to that 202.85 level, right? So do keep that in mind there. Now, when I look here, You see how the buyers keep stepping in? When I say buyers keep stepping in, let me show you. Wick, bounce, price bounce, price bounce, price bounce, price bounce, but getting sold. We're in a flag, so there's consolidation happening. Consolidation happening because we're in a bear flag pattern, right? So she can get it. She wait. All right, so we're in a bear flag pattern. So we're coming downward now. Price is going to actually get to actually break below this 606 and move here to the downside. So if we can get that move, this is where AMD will start to fall further. We also obviously are in Amazon. So we always keep our eyes on the indice to what stock we are trading, right? What stock we are trading, we always keep our eyes on the indice. That's what we do 24/7. All right, that we always keep our eyes on the indice. Any questions? Questions, questions, questions. Questions, questions, questions. It's 10:04 and you had a nice bag. Yep. So always keep your eyes. Good brother Jason asked, those cancel closing above the flag zone doesn't invalidate it. Right. So great question that Jason is asking here. Now we are on the 1 minute time frame. So what I do want to stress is I want you to go to the 5 and the 15 minutes. So it can, right? So this is why as we're pushing up here, notice we're pushing up. It does invalidate this bear flag. But if we step back in and still break below, we can come downward. So the answer to your question is yes. He asked a great question. When we break the top of the bear flag, doesn't invalidate it. Pay attention to AMD. So I would not be going short again unless I was able to see sellers really break this area, which is hence why we sold here on this stock. Now, also there's a pattern that's building on this 5 minute time frame. What pattern is building here? A falling wedge. A falling wedge is what type of pattern, guys? A bullish reversal pattern. So AMD is actually breaking it's trying to break a falling wedge pattern. Clean this bad boy up. So the last level that it hit was our take profit level. So now AMD is about to probably maybe go test 210. And if it breaks over that, it'll probably rotate back up to 214. So you see how that works? If we can break out of this channel and this trend here, price, we're in a falling wedge. So if we break through 210, we'll start to break back out upward. So this is just showing you, once again, these are smaller time frame analysis of showing you the ins and outs of the technicals to be able to show you where price is going. I know that every time I come on Zoom, I don't always go into the smaller time frames because primarily we swing trade, but we can use those same principles and practices when it comes to day trading. All right. So that was the intention of me showing you exactly how to maneuver in the market, just making it make sense for you. So that's what I wanted to do for you guys here today. Yep. Questions. You made a bag. If you just made some money, I want to see you guys drop some fires in the chat. If you made some money on this Zoom, drop some fires in the chat. You made some money. You made that nice flag on AMD. Drop some fires in the chat. Now notice, how many people do you think went and bought calls at open? Now I'm going to say this again. How many of you guys maybe in the past would have seen that news and said, yo, I'm buying a call at open? No, we made the right move the right way, right? So we made the right move the right way. We didn't get caught in our emotions. We get what I'm saying? We did not get caught on our emotions. All we did was execute off of what we saw, right? So that's the main reason. So Devontae actually asked, so it's not that we're like super bearish, like bearish on Meta. We just expect that they are going to probably pull down. Now they did hit this 691. That's why having your levels is in a perfect place. And so here you go. Oh, shoot. You help her out. Okay. I think someone's coming for her. Yeah. But when you're looking at this 691, if we can get a drawdown here, right? Because we just popped here at this level. So it's not that we're super bearish, like long-term. We're long-term bullish. We just anticipate at least that we did come to the 691 and we did pop. So obviously we didn't have any put. We would have liked to take a put below 690, but there were buyers here, and we could see that expressed when good brother Jason asked about the wicks, right? Here on the 18th and as well the 30th. This is the same thing that happened last time. So what could we have concluded was that, hey, when we came back here to 691, we would pop again. So if we reject that 710, we can as well form a lower high, break back down and get below this 691 and make a what? What comes after a lower high, right? What comes after a lower high? What comes after lower low? Yep. So it's likely that maybe we do test at least, even if we don't get to 710, this itself, and go to the 15-minute time frame, you'll see that this is a lower high. So the definition of this is a lower high. So you have a lower low and a lower high, right? Lower low, lower high. All right. So if we reject and pull downward, we break through this 691, right? 691, catch this move here on the downside and break down. All right. So that's our thoughts and expectations on this specific ticker. All right. So that's what I wanted to explain and stress for you guys here right now. Questions, questions, questions. Yep. I'm in Amazon. Yep. I got you. Lower low. So that's our thoughts. Now, everyone go to the XLC ETF. I want to add more context. Great question by good brother Devontae. So when you do look at the XLC, this is where you come to your ETF.com. Once again, use your resources. You're never going to stop learning here. Use your resources. They're free. You know, XLC. You got Meta Platforms, Alphabet, and Netflix. So we had a rising wedge pattern, which we understand is bearish. So XLC, we are anticipating on XLC that it comes down to 114 and after that, 112. So XLC comes down there to $112, where we now have those top names. We understand what the top names are within that ETF. Now, how do we get there? Of course, we need Alphabet, which is Google, and we're going to need those stocks to come down. Now, the XLC has an all-time high of right now here of about 119. So breaking below 114 and 112 pull us there on the downside. So I'm bearish on the XLC in the short term, long run bullish, but short term bearish. Now from that, I also we're still back in here in this bear flag here on this name on QQQ, but we'll move away, keep me abreast if QQQ does anything crazy. But I could also see it from these stocks anyway. So nonetheless, Netflix. Netflix, what I've been saying is Netflix is in a bear flag. I have it charted better on this left side of the screen, but it's all good. All right. So watching Netflix at the bottom of this flag, this bear flag break on Netflix, ticker NFLX. Netflix is going to probably likely go based upon this technicals. If we break below 1130, we're looking at Netflix to go back down to about 1070. So 1030 to 1070. We're bearish. The only way that we get out of this bearish trend is if Netflix pops on earnings. Earnings is the only saving grace. But this bear flag pattern, I like Netflix to even could pull down to 1,000. I think Netflix is just a bit overran. Once again, short-term bearish for a long-term run. The only thing that could change the trend is going to be, right? Only thing that can actually change this trend is, and I see Kevin Reed ask me, yes, we are locked in on DG and TGT. We still have those out. We're short DG and TGT. So for anybody with those questions, yes, the answer to that question is yes. We are locked in on DG and TGT. If you come here in the Discord, you go to the books and PDFs tab. For those that want to understand we have a short report on Target right here and DGT. DG, right? DG. I said DGT. I guess so all these tickers run together. But just as a quick analysis, this is the value right here. Dollar General, we broke it down. The immediate support levels, bearish thesis going through. So you have all of that. What's the catalyst? Weak consumer spending and lower income brackets, inflationary pressures on staples. Where do I get this from? I treat everything like I do like a true analyst. I go to Dollar General at least 3 times a week. The traffic in Dollar General compared to 6 months ago is slowing down. I go and I ask, what are your sales like? I go to multiple Dollar Generals and I run these reports. So not only I treat this like an analyst because the analyst would go to the store and ask, right? And see. Now TGT, you guys know my viral video of me kicking that basket in TGT. I told you guys the first time TGT is gonna come down. Now I understand Jamal Bryant and his people, they're boycotting. He's created that. But now the boycotts are not the main issue with TGT, but it doesn't help it. It doesn't help when your stock is already decimated. Now you got a good brother in Jamal Bryant leading a revolution, telling people not to go to your doggone stores. So holiday season, guess where people won't be buying their kids' toys from? It won't be TGT. So Target, is likely to break down below $81. Boycotts plus weaker holiday season trends. Because guess what? People got other places to shop. Retail boycotts lingering into Q4, which is the worst time. Target makes so much money in Q4. So Q4, what's going to happen is Q4 compared to last year's Q4. I can't wait to see those numbers. Can't wait to see those numbers. Q4 last year, 2024 versus Q4 2025. So this is our thoughts on those names, both discount retail. When you take a look, big box retail for DG, and for TGT and discount retail for DG over the next 6 to 9 months, to me, are prime setups to come down. Holiday season is usually a tailwind, right? Not a headwind, right? But it's usually a tailwind, but looks muted this year. So TGT puts, we want to see that 81. So you got $100 puts on each, or 110 if you want to go on DG for the middle of next year. Yep. Or you can go out till June. Some people went out till June, some people out till March. So gave y'all that breakdown. This is where we got the values here. What I'll say is maximizing the use of this program. I can definitely not stress this enough. Maximizing the use of this program, right? So for all my people that's in the program, listen, guys, you guys already know. So we giving them a lot today. We open up the war chest. We're in a very good mood. Very great feeling. Yep. So with Netflix, these are your levels. So we're bearish. Now we have XLC. So what that tells you is someone's going to come in and say, well, Ellie, and I'm starting to call myself Ellie, and I've never done that before. You guys called me that so much. But I love that nickname. You guys came up with that. Shout out to you guys came up with that. Right. Let me go ahead and give you guys my ETF guide. This right here. There we go. Yep. So you got your leverage. Yep. And gonna send this. There we go. Now, a lot of this information may be available for you guys. A lot of you guys may already know this information, right? So I'm gonna drop this for you guys in the chat. So you have your ETF guide here, that understanding the differences. So you could take this and track this, right? So I'll put this in the chat. Make sure you guys take your notes. VOO, VTI, ARC, SPY, QQQ, SMH, XLY, XLK, XLC, XLE. Then you got your leverage, TQQQ, your SOXO. How many people in here made a bag off of SOXO? Right? How many people made a bag? Yes, I'm still locked in on both of those for January. Correct. Yeah. How many people made a bag off of these names? All right. TQQQ, SOXO, TSL, MSTU, AMDL, NVDL. Correct. Yeah. So how many people have made a bag off of those names? All right. You got that information here on this guide. So I'll share this guide as well. I'll send this guide out to everyone again, just so you guys have all this information and understand the main key differences, right? And understand how these things work. But if I was a new person, I said, hey, I don't know where the information lies on these ETFs, this would be what I would do. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. So you have that there. All right. So 701 right now on there. Amazon's right there at about 218. Coinbase is here at 386. Then you have Netflix at 1053. OKLO is up about $13 today, just rounding out tickers, not saying anything that you have to take. MU is still up about 5. ARM is up $6. Robinhood is up, what's me up, was up, is down now about $1. TTD flat, just looking through these tickers. Ticker NVO is up about 2%, is up here at 61. SoFi Technologies, there, the VIX is here at 17. Palo Alto Network hit a new 52-week high today. Missed that one. Caught everything else. Carvana pulled back down about $7. Reddit, ticker Reddit. Shopify is up 164. Microsoft is up there as well. I want everyone to do something real quick. Please set an alert on the QQQ for 605. I want you to set an alert for 605 on the QQQ. And I want you to go to the S&P 500 and set an alert for 668. Right? So set an alert for 668. I would like to see what the SPY and the QQQ are doing when I want to take a quick 10 to 15 minute break. Want everyone to kind of grab some food, grab some water, take a restroom break, etc. So take a good 10 to 15 minute break. I'm going to pause the recording. You can stay on the Zoom. The Zoom code will stay the same. What I'll do is I will pause the recording here now. Take a good 5 minutes. We'll come back at 10:35 and take yourself a 10:35, 10:36. So where can we get that ETF document at? So if you're in the community, you can look in the books and PDFs tab. So I want you to look at that. Yep. You can get the books and PDF tab. Yep. So I'll post that in there for you. So I'll pause this recording. No one needs to leave the Zoom. The recording will just pause. And I'll just put that we have stopped for a break. And let's just make it easy. We'll just say 10:40. All right. So 10:40, we'll stop for a break. 10:40 return. And then we'll run all the way into about 11:50. And we'll take a break from there. And we'll come back after 11:50 at about 12:45. Yep. So 668, that's that level on SPY, 668. So you should have an alert on QQQ for 605 and a SPY for 668. We'll add some context to that when we come back here. Yep. Other than that, great way to start. Yeah, great way to start. Great way to start. All right, great way to start. Super, super, super duper important. Great way to start this day. All right, so I'll see you guys in 15. Stay right here. The recording will pause. All right, and then we'll resume it when we come back. So I'll see you guys here in a second. And great work.